Welcome back, everyone. World Baseball News for the week of August 22nd. Last week, all the top teams in Asia saw their leads in the standings shrink. The next round of the playoffs began in Mexico with only 8 teams remaining. Championship Series continued in one European country, semifinals in 2 others. But first, more big names coming in for the WBC. New York Mets first baseman and DH Pete Alonso has committed to play for Team USA. The 27-year-old two-time All-Star leads the NL with over 100 RBI, powered by his 30 home runs. He hit 53 homers back in 2019. And 27-year-old Orioles outfielder Cedric Mullins has also committed. Last year, Mullins hit 30 homers and stole 30 bases. Not quite so good this year, but still a solid contributor with 11 home runs and 25 steals. And that means Team USA has a complete outfield and almost a complete lineup. Trout, Mullins, and Harper in the outfield. Arenado, Story, Goldschmidt, and Alonso in the infield. Real Muto behind the plate. Alonso would likely be the DH with Goldschmidt at first. A big one for Venezuela, 32-year-old Houston Astros second baseman Jose Altuve will play for his home country. A 3-time batting champion, 4-time leader in hits, 2-time stolen base leader, 5-time Silver Slugger, and the 2017 American League MVP. This year he's slashing .278, .366, .495, with 20 homers and 12 steals. And both of those teams got managers. For USA, it's Mark DeRosa. His 16-year Major League playing career ended in 2013. Since then, he's worked as a studio analyst for MLB Network. And for Venezuela, it's 45-year-old Omar Lopez, a former minor league player and coach. He's now in his 3rd year as first base coach for the Houston Astros. Former NFL quarterback Guybrin Hamdan will be taking the field for Pakistan in next month's WBC qualifier. Now 41, Hamdan retired from professional football over a decade ago. He last played baseball 20 years ago at the University of Indiana. While at Indiana, Hamdan played first base and in his junior year slashed .335, .389, .509. He also played for Team USA's 15 and under team in his youth. His mother is from Pakistan, and he was the first player of Pakistani descent in the NFL. No official commitment from Shohei Ohtani to play for Samurai Japan yet, but he has been given the green light by the LA Angels organization to both hit and pitch in the Classic. The decision is entirely up to him now. Ohtani has never played in the WBC. He was supposed to in 2017 but had to sit it out because of an injury. NPB in Japan. Going into last week in Central League, the Swallows were struggling, their once huge lead shrinking by half. All 5 of the other teams were battling for second with the surprising Baystars leading the way. Meanwhile, in Pacific League, the Lions held a slim lead over the Hawks, their first opponent for last week. The Swallows may have cooled off, but Munetaka Murakami has not. He hit 3 home runs last week to bring his season total up to 44 in 110 games. With 33 games left, he should have no problem getting to 50. He'll only need about 1 a week to reach that mark. The NPB record of 60 is probably out of reach, though. He'd need to hit a home run about every other game. Tuesday, definitely a pitcher's day. Swallows started the new week with a win, 5-3 over the Tigers, handing Tigers pitcher Koyo Aoyagi just his 2nd loss of the season. Giants had a chance to take over second with a sweep, but it did not go as planned. Baystars won 3-1. Carp blanked the Dragons 5-0. Eagles got by the Fighters 2-1. And a couple more shutouts. First place Lions 2-0 over the 2nd place Hawks. Marines 4-0 over the Buffaloes in a rain-shortened 7-inning game. Carp pitcher Masato Morishita struck out 9 batters through 9 innings for his 3rd complete game and 2nd shutout of the season. His teammate Shota Dobayashi helped him out with a pair of solo home runs. Kona Takahashi threw 6 scoreless with 6 Ks to earn the win for the Lions, and Marines pitcher Manabu Mima threw 6 1/3 scoreless for the win. He was still pitching when the rain came down and the game was called. Wednesday, all the same teams won in Central League. Swallows over Tigers 4-2. Baystars beat the Giants 7-3. Carp scored the game's first and only run in the bottom of the 11th to top the Dragons 1-0. Eagles over Fighters 8-2. Hawks got even with the Lions 5-3. And the Buffaloes-Marines game was postponed. Great pitching duel in the Dragons-Carp game. 20-year-old Hiroto Takahashi tossed 7 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts. For the Carp, Aren Kuri threw 9 scoreless innings, only 4 hits allowed. Both pitchers ended the game with a no decision. Eagles' 3rd baseman Egoro Mogi reached base 4 times and batted in 4. Thursday, Tigers thumped the Swallows 10-2 to avoid a sweep. Baystars completed their sweep 4-3 over the Giants. Dragons got their only win of the series 6-1 over the Carp. Eagles over the Fighters 2-1 for a 3-game sweep. And the Lions took the series with an 8-5 win over the Hawks. Keita Sano homered twice for the Baystars, including the go-ahead blast in the 8th. Friday, all-new series. Giants kept losing. Tigers shut them out 4-0. Baystars kept winning 8-3 over the Carp. Dragons walked it off in the 9th for a 4-3 win over the Swallows. Marines 6-5 over the Eagles. Buffaloes outlasted the Lions 4-3, and the Hawks took care of the Fighters 7-2. Yuki Nishi improved to 9-7 with a 3-hit complete game shutout, striking out 7 along the way. Yu Dai Ono threw 7 shutout innings with 8 Ks for the Dragons, but had to settle for a no decision. Buffalo's pitcher Yoshinobu Yamamoto improved to 11-5, striking out 8 and allowing only 2 earned runs in a 9-inning complete game. It was win number 50 for Yamamoto, who just turned 24 last week, in his 5th NPB season and only his 4th as a starting pitcher. Saturday, Giants fell to 0-5 for the week. Tigers beat them 5-1. Baystars held on to beat the Carp 6-5. Swallows over Dragons 7-2. Eagles beat the Marines 5-2. Buffalo shut out the Lions 6-0, and the Hawks beat the Fighters again 9-3. Murakami reached base 4 times, homered twice, and drove in 3. Masahiro Tanaka surrendered no earned runs in 7 innings on the mound. Hiroya Miyagi threw 8 scoreless innings for the Buffaloes. Sunday, Tigers 6-1 over the Giants for a 3-game sweep and a winless week for the Giants. Baystars completed a perfect week with a 3-0 shutout of the Carp. They have now won 17 consecutive decisions at home, third most in NPB history. Dragons beat the Swallows 5-2 to win that series. Eagles over Marines 1-0 to take the series. Lions avoided a sweep with a 3-1 win over the Buffaloes, and Hawks over Fighters 5-1 for a 3-game sweep. Yusuke Oyama drove in 4 runs on 2 hits for the Tigers. Baystars second baseman Shugo Maki homered for the 3rd straight game. All 3 Baystars runs came on solo home runs. Hawks second baseman Isami Nomura had 3 hits, a home run, and 3 batted in. Central League standings, Swallows' lead continues to shrink, down from 7-4 in the past week. They were 3-3 last week. The Baystars were 6-0. The Swallows traveled to Yokohama this weekend for 3 games with the Baystars. The way things are going now, the Baystars could take over first place in that series. Tigers moved back into 3rd, but are now 5 games behind the Baystars. 4th place Carp are 2.5 behind the Tigers. Giants fell from 3rd back to 5th after going 0-6 for the week. They are now just a game and a half ahead of the last place Dragons. Pacific League standings, Lions hang on, but their lead is down to half a game over the 2nd place Hawks. Eagles rose to 3rd, only 2 games out of 1st. Buffaloes fell to 4th, but only 2.5 games out of 1st. Marines are 5 games behind the Buffaloes. Fighters are a ways out. This week in NPB, Tuesday to Thursday, Dragons at Giants, Carp at Swallows, Baystars at Tigers, Buffaloes versus Fighters in Kushiro, Hokkaido, Hawks at Eagles, and Lions at Marines. The Buffaloes Fighters series is Tuesday and Wednesday only. On the weekend, Swallows at Baystars, Tigers at Dragons, Giants at Carp, Hawks at Fighters, Eagles at Marines, and Lions at Buffaloes. In Korea, the SSG Landers entered last week with a nice comfortable lead atop the KBO standings, but they had to take on the 2nd and 3rd place teams. Tigers were holding on to the last playoff spot with the Giants, Bears, and Dinos all 5 games back, and the new schedule of 3 2-game series per week instead of 2 3-game series started last week. Here's what happened. Tuesday, 3 games rained out. 2nd place Twins beat the Lions 6-3, and the 4th place Wiz got a walk-off sac fly to get past the 3rd place Heroes 5-4. Twins first baseman Unsung Che drove in 3 runs on 3 hits. Wednesday, all teams in action. Dinos over Eagles 6-4. Giants 8-6 over the Bears. Tigers beat the 1st place Landers 4-3. Twins took care of the Lions 11-7 to complete the sweep, and the Wiz walked it off again for a 3-2 win over the Heroes and a 2-game sweep. Anthony Alford hit the walk-off double in that one, his 3rd hit of the day. Thursday, Giants got past the Wiz 1-0. 2nd place Twins over the 1st place Landers 8-4. Dinos and Tigers were tied at 5 after 10 innings. Dinos put up 9 in the top of the 11th. Tigers only managed 3. Dinos 14-8. Lions beat the Eagles 7-4, and the Bears beat up the Heroes 10-2. Dan Straley threw 6 scoreless for his first win since returning to the KBO. Second baseman Robel Garcia homered twice in the Twins win, and Dinos catcher Uiji Young also homered twice, 1 solo and 1 grand slam. Friday, Wiz earned a split, beating the Giants 4-3. Twins Landers game called off due to poor field conditions. Dinos and Tigers went to extra innings again. This time, the Tigers walked it off in the 10th for a 12-9 win. Lions over the Eagles 9-5 for the sweep, and the Heroes-Bears game was rained out. Chung Jin Lee hit the walk-off 3-run blast in the Tigers' win. Lions first baseman Won-Suk Lee reached base 4 times, homered, and batted in 4. Saturday, new series, Landers doubled up on the Heroes 14-7. Eagles snapped a 6-game losing streak, beating the Giants 5-3. Tigers over the Wiz 5-2. Dinos Lions game was called off, and the Twins beat the Bears 6-1. Shin Soo Choo was a triple shy of the cycle with 3 batted in for the Landers. Casey Kelly threw 6 scoreless innings as he improved to 13-2 for the season. Sunday, Landers over Heroes 6-1 for the weekend sweep. Giants over Eagles 8-1 for a split series. Wiz and Tigers split their series after the Wiz won this one 11-3. Dinos beat the Lions 6-2, and the Bears topped the Twins 4-2 to tie the series. Landers pitcher Sean Moramando, in his fourth KBO start since coming from the CPBL, threw 7 scoreless with 6 Ks for the win. Daeho Lee batted in 3 runs on 3 hits for the Giants, and Wiz third baseman Jae Gyun Hwang got on base 4 times, homered, scored 3, and drove in 3. KBO standings, Landers are 40 games over 500, holding an 8-game lead with 35 games remaining on their schedule. Twins gained a little ground. They were 9.5 back a week ago. Third place Heroes lost all 5 games they played last week. Now they trail the Twins by 5.5 and are only a half game ahead of the 4th place Wiz. Heroes started last week with a pair of 1-run losses to the Wiz. Tigers are in the last playoff spot, 6 games behind the Wiz. Tigers' lead in the playoff race is slowly shrinking, now 4.5 games ahead of the Dinos. Giants are half a game behind the Dinos. Bears are half game behind the Giants. This week in the KBO, Tuesday and Wednesday, Tigers at Heroes, Wiz at Bears, Twins at Eagles, Giants at Dinos, and Lions at Landers. Thursday and Friday, Tigers at Twins, Bears at Eagles, Landers at Wiz, Lions at Giants, and Heroes at Dinos. Saturday and Sunday, Eagles at Lions, Wiz at Dinos, Giants at Landers, Bears at Tigers, and Heroes at Twins. In Taiwan, the red-hot Rakuten Monkeys went into last week dominating the early second-half standings, as well as the overall standings, but they were in for a rough week. Before we look at that, some news from around the CPBL. Guardians pitcher Mike Lowry will play his final game on September 2nd. He announced his retirement from baseball so he can spend more time with his family. Lowry was still a good pitcher, 8 starts, 46 innings, and a .235 ERA this season. And since he'd been in the league so long, he counted as a domestic, not a foreign player. So this is a big loss for the Guardians. The Weichuan Dragons have released infielder Ronnie Rodriguez. He didn't play much as he was battling with a leg injury. In 12 games, he slashed .273, .289, .341. In his place, the Dragons have signed 31-year-old outfielder Brian Goodwin. Goodwin spent 6 years in MLB with 5 different teams from 2016 to 2021. This summer, he played in 32 games in Mexico, where he slashed .239, .350, .436. And the brothers got a new pitcher, 27-year-old right-hander Tyler Visa. He spent the 2022 season in AA and AAA of the Minnesota Twins organization, posting a 0.47 ERA and 9 relief appearances in AA, but a 7.52 ERA and 15 appearances in AAA. Here's what happened last week. Tuesday, brothers shut out the Dragons 5-0. 23-year-old Bo Hao Chen tossed 7 scoreless for the win. Monkeys destroyed the Lions 11-2. Outfielder Chin Chang was 4 out of 6, scored 2, and drove in 2. Wednesday, Brothers-Dragons game was called off. Guardians shut out the Monkeys 5-0. Soon-to-be retired Mike Lowry threw 7 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts. Thursday, Dragons held on to beat the Lions 4-3. 24-year-old Yu Chang Kuo lasted 7 innings and allowed only 2. Guardians and Monkeys finished in a 2-2 tie after 12 innings. Friday, Guardians hammered the Monkeys 10-2. And the Lions took care of the brothers 5-1. Kvyas Sampson, who just joined the Lions the week before, struck out 13 batters in 7 innings while surrendering only 1 for his first CPBL win. Saturday, Dragons topped the Guardians 3-1, and the Lions blanked the brothers 1-0. Chi Wei-Hu tossed 7 scoreless for the win. Sunday, Monkeys were beaten again 7-3 by the Dragons. Brothers avoided a sweep 8-1 over the Lions. Jae Yuen Yu held the Lions to 1 run in 7 1/3, improving his record to 6-1. CPBL second-half standings, Monkeys had their first losing week in a long time. They were 1-3-1. Dragons are the closest behind, trailing by 3 games, and with a 3-game win streak are the new hot team in the CPBL. Guardians are 5 back, Brothers 6, and Lions 8.5. Overall standings, Monkeys' lead is 9.5. Dragons are in second now, 1 game ahead of the Brothers. Lions trail the Brothers by 3.5. If the season were to end today, the Monkeys would go straight to the Taiwan series and get an automatic 1-0 lead in the series. Brothers would visit the Dragons for a best-of-3, winners moving on to meet the Monkeys. But there's still plenty of time to go. In Mexico, the LMB North and South semifinals are underway. Heading into last week, there were still 2 series going on in the first round, and here is how it ended. Monday, Tigres de Quintana Roo crushed Olmecas de Tabasco 13-4, putting an end to their season. Olmo Rosario homered twice, giving him 4 home runs in the 5 games of the series. In the other game, Leones de Yucatan beat Pericos de Puebla 4-3 to take a 3-2 lead in the series. Wednesday, Game 6, a total slugfest. Leones put the series away 4-2, winning 20-17. Leones used 9 pitchers, Pericos used 10. Leones first baseman Art Charles batted in 5 runs on 2 homers and a double. Puebla still qualified for the semifinal round, though, as the lucky loser, the best losing team in the first round. So these are the matchups for the semifinal round. In the South, Pericos de Puebla versus number 1 seed Diablos Rojos, and Tigres de Quintana Roo versus Leones de Yucatan. In the north, Acereros de Monclova versus Toros de Tijuana, and Sultanes de Monterrey versus Tecolotes de los Dos Laredos. Semi-final round in the north began on Friday with a couple surprises. Second-seeded Dos Laredos were beaten by Monterrey 4-2. Sultanes starting pitcher Yoander Mendez threw 5 shutout innings for the win. And Monclova destroyed defending champions and top seed Toros de Tijuana. Infielder Alex Mejia had 4 hits, a home run, drove in 5, and crossed the plate 3 times. Saturday, Game 1 in the South, Rojos took care of Puebla 10-6. They got 2 home runs and 5 batted in from their catcher, Julian Leon. And Yucatan had no problem beating Quintana Roo 9-1. Another big day for Art Charles, 2 hits, a home run, and 4 driven in. Game 2 in the North, Monterrey took a 2-0 lead in the series, winning this one 9-3. Jose Cardona was 5 for 5 with 2 runs scored. And Tijuana beat Monclova 5-4 to even up the series. Good work from the Toros bullpen, no hits allowed in the last 5 innings. Sunday, Rojos again put up double digits to breeze past Puebla 17-7 and go up 2-0 in the series. DH Roberto Ramos homered twice, 1 solo and 1 grand slam. And in the bottom of the 12th, Yucatan drew a bases-loaded walk to get past Quintana Roo 5-4 and take a 2-0 series lead. Game 3 in the North is later today with Dos Laredos visiting Monterrey and Tijuana at Monclova. Game 3 in the South is on Wednesday. The semifinal round will be done by this weekend. The final series in Germany was supposed to get underway over the weekend, but it didn't go on as planned. So Game 1 is scheduled for this Saturday afternoon between the Bonn Capitals and the Paderborn Untouchables. Game 2 is scheduled for Sunday, and if there are no further delays, the series will be all done with the first weekend of September. Only one game in the Czech series, that was Game 4 on Sunday. Going into Game 4, Drosy Brno held a 2-1 lead over Hrosy Brno in the best-of-7 championship series. But in Game 4, Hrosy dominated on their home field, 8-0 the final, which means the series is tied at 2. Game 5 is later today, Game 6 is on Friday, and Game 7, if necessary, will be early on Saturday. So this will be the last week of the Extraliga season. Italian League semifinals got started over the weekend with Games 1 and 2. Defending champion San Marino had little trouble with BBC Grosseto, winning 4-1 and 13-3 to take a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 series. In the other series, Parma took the first game 3-2, but Bologna fought back with an 8-4 win in Game 2. San Marino is 1 win away from earning another trip to the Italian series, while Bologna and Parma are tied at 1 apiece. Games 3, 4, and 5 are scheduled for the next 3 days. By the weekend, we'll have our matchup for the Italian series. Semifinals also began last weekend in the Netherlands. The same 4 teams that took part in the winner's stage are also competing in the semis. On Friday, Neptunus beat Twins 7-2. HCAW shut out Amsterdam 5-0. Saturday, from the bottom, Neptunus over Twins 4-2. Amsterdam's turn for a shutout. They blanked HCAW 4-0. On Sunday, HCAW took the lead in the series, beating Amsterdam 4-2. And Neptunus completed a 3-game sweep, winning convincingly 10-3 to put an end to the season for the Oosterhout Twins. So Neptunus is in the Holland series, as they are every year, but they may have a different opponent this time. HCAW is 1 win away from putting Amsterdam away. Game 4 in that series is this Friday. And that's all for this one. Until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.